Good morning.
There's a new term.
Today's
in
an
the
exciting
world.
day.
I thought of this yesterday and realized it's my 6-month Trikaftaversary.
You need a trademark that.
I do, and that was good. We didn't plan that, but Trikaftaversary.
So you gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be.
So it has been 6 months. Warning, I'm not gonna be able to wipe the smile off my face. I mean, this is indescribably better than we ever could have imagined. So I've been on Trikafta 6 months, which the first about 4 months I was on the triple combo, so it was before the brand name Trikafta. Also, I'm really glad that it's called Trikafta because some of the previous Vertex drugs, I don't even know how to pronounce.
Oh yeah, like Orkambi or how else do you say
Orkambi or Orkambi, and then
Symdeco.
Or Symdeco.
Oh yeah, and Kaleideco
or Kaleideco.
Oops, people,
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Trikafta, it is what it is.
Well, if you're new around here or if you've been living in a hole and haven't heard, this is a new medication for cystic fibrosis that, as Mary said, she's been on for 6 months, and it was approved about 3-4 months ago, or not
less.
even 2 months ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much life-changing. What's also exciting, I feel like it was yesterday that we were sitting in the car doing our 7-day update and saying, I think this is working. But
I was still, we have said this a lot of times, we were really cautiously optimistic at the beginning.
yeah.
And now, throw that caution out the window. We are just optimistic, and we are so grateful because on that 7-day update, we were like, I think it's working, but we were still open to the idea that this could be a fluke.
Yeah.
It could be that this isn't working great, I'm just having a better day. And then by day 12, we were like, this is working. And then by 1 month, it was undeniable, it was working.
Yeah, it was just, mucus was so much less and continues to be. But what I was gonna say, I mean, we have a lot of thoughts that we just, as we sit down and think about 6 months of basically Mary's life being changed by less mucus and
in turn,
more
both
life.
of our lives.
Yeah, but as we process all of this, I think what's also exciting, we've done a lot of these updates and we've shared a lot of the progress that, I mean, in many ways, the 6-month update it's still working. But in the midst of it, we're also hearing the stories of other patients who are getting on this drug and finding out that Mary's not the exception in the results that she's seeing, and there's even better results. I mean, I don't know that you can even quantify anything being better than what we've experienced, but
numerically, so I saw a 13 to 15% increase
in lung function.
And I have a friend who experienced maybe 4 times that amount, and I'm just so happy. That was one of the things that I wrote down. Part of the greatest joy of this last 6 months has been watching my friends and people who I don't know, but seeing posts about people going on Trikafta and seeing even bigger results than we've experienced. And we are just so grateful that it wasn't just me who had those good things. Like, we were like, wow, this is working. I can't wait till so many more people can be on it.
Well, and I think that was part of, like, we decided with the encouragement of Mary's team in Boston to document Mary's journey on Trikafta and be very public about it, and to share, like, this is what's happening. And in many ways, like, our heartbeat behind that was so that patients would, like with a lot of our videos, that they would find encouragement, that maybe they might experience similar things. But we were hesitant because we know that every CF body is different and everybody's going to respond differently.
Right.
And so there's that hesitation of, I think as we saw the improvement, and I think when we did that 3-month update, like part of me was saying, like, I think we gave a lot of disclaimers in that video. Like, Mary's body was set up for success because she had just come off of a course of IVs, and like all these different aspects of kind of giving disclaimers because patients were just starting at that point. And anyways, all that being said, it's exciting to hear that, you know, this isn't the exception, and that this is, I mean, everybody's responding differently, but that across the board, it seems to be helping CF patients. 90%, that is. Yeah,
so and we've said this in a lot of our videos, but this Trikafta treats 90% of the CF population, but there are 10% of the CF population who have no, what they call highly effective treatment. Trikafta is considered a highly effective medication for 90%. And so that gives us this sobering reality of these efforts, these research efforts, fundraising efforts need to continue. We did not reach the finish line, and it gives me goosebumps, but like this drug does reach my mutations, and so in a way we did reach the finish line of, you know, 20 years of research. But I have friends who this doesn't work for, and so the Frey Life, you guys and us, we still donate to the CF Foundation for the purpose of continuing research.
Yeah. And there's also, I know like some of you, your CF teams are still working with insurance to try to get Trikafta covered, and this is a very expensive medication that, I mean, it's probably one of the most expensive drugs, yearly costs. So we know that, we hope that us telling Mary's story of experiencing the success can be an encouragement that perhaps even if it's still future for you, that it's worth it.
There is hope.
Yeah.
And also that with time and more insurance approvals, that our CF teams will be better equipped for those prior authorizations, and they'll know what tests to prove to the insurance that these people need this medication. There are also, of course, all of the other countries where patients are fighting for access to this medication. So that being said, as a whole, we have not reached the finish line.
And this isn't a finish line. Mary still has CF, and it's not a cure. And so, as much as like you're kind of viewing it as a finish line.
I am, because it's so much better than I ever imagined.
So let's get into that. So let's, looking back at six months ago, and if you guys haven't seen, we did a 2019 kind of rewind, 2019 in review. If you want to see, like, get a tangible picture of the improvement that Mary experienced, I'll link that video in the description, because I took clips from every month of last year.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's multiple clips from every month, and it kind of chronicles where Mary's health was before Trikafta, and then it really highlights the impact that the last 6 months have made. But that being said,
it's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy. Speechless crazy.
So looking back 6 months, what are the biggest, like, milestones that Trikafta has accomplished?
I mean, I'm speechless because I would say my biggest milestone is my mornings. Mm-hmm. I don't dread mornings anymore. Yeah. And as I'm hearing from my friends that they're experiencing the same thing, that mornings are easy now, I'm just so glad I'm not the only one who's like having the privilege of having an enjoyable morning. I don't go to bed, what's the word? Dreading the, you know, the moment my eyelids wake up or open.
I think part of what we've experienced in the last 6 months is when you're in the thick of it, you know, first half of last year, we're in the thick of Mary fighting infection and just going through this daily grind. You know, you don't realize how much, you know, what the challenge, like how hard morning, you know, you say mornings are hard with CF, but how much that affects every part of the day, including like going to sleep. You go to sleep dreading waking up in the morning. And so there's like this, it's affecting every part of the day. And then so when we're on the other side of that, looking back, we're like, whoa. You know, the CF mornings really does like impact so much of your life. So much.
And just that enormous amount of energy that my body used in the first hour of being awake. I still have to do airway clearance, but I can now use all of that immense energy from all of that hard coughing, which it barely happens anymore. I can use it to do other things that I want to do, like clean the house and all of that. And I'm just so grateful. Let me look at my list, because one other thing that I wrote down that like Trikafta has enabled us to do, this one's kind of silly, but also really awesome. It allowed us, so the stability that I now have allowed us the freedom to say yes to an opportunity to adopt a hairless cat. Before Trikafta, we were so slammed with me just like trying to take care of my body, Peter cleaning up after I'm coughing and throwing up, and he's over here cleaning up, he's taking Ollie outside, and like he's doing it all, and then everything else we did in life, right?
Yeah.
There was no way we could add another family member. And so, 4 months in to being on Trikafta, we had an opportunity and we said yes, because we felt the freedom that our life is more under control now.
Yeah.
So that's one very memorable one.
And I think that's highlighting the capacity to do more, to commit to more, more friends in our lives, more social things. You know, a year ago we were, you know, and I post every day, I post the 1 year ago, and it's really sobering for me every day.
In the description of these videos, if you scroll down, you'll see all the different ones.
You'll see 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3, you see 5 years of past videos, and it's been really sobering for me. I think in the last 2 months, going back to a year and just seeing the titles and seeing the thumbnails and remembering and just like we didn't have capacity. You know, we were I was pastoring, and we were you know, if it was a good week, we'd both get to go to church, and that was about it in terms of social stuff we were doing. And
I had gotten to the point where I would have once a week sometimes doctor's appointment, so that's driving into the city, and then it takes a couple of days to recover from that, plus having church on Sunday that I wanted to be able to go to. And so having to really save my social commitments, really, I couldn't make social commitments. And if I made them, I'd often have to cancel because, oh, I have a fever today, or I'm on the couch with a headache, I can't move, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that really has been, and with this move, it has been such a huge blessing to be able to move to this new place and now have this newfound ability to connect with people at church and make social commitments and have people over and just enjoy this new season of life in this new state. And also it's way warmer, so we're really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Just overall, like you summarized it, the ability to make commitments.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
Yeah. And so, you know, thinking just quantitatively over the last 6 months, one huge area that Trikafta has changed is Mary hasn't had to go on IVs since starting Trikafta.
I finished IVs about 1 month before starting Trikafta, and I haven't been on them since, so it's about 7 months.
And I would venture to say that's probably the longest Mary's gone without a course of IV antibiotics because the infection had gotten so bad, I guess in years.
Yeah.
I think we had a 6-month little spurt a couple years ago, maybe.
Which was simply 6 months because I would have needed them before that, except that there were no options.
Yeah, we had just decided, let's see what happens if we don't treat this time. Like, that was where we were.
Yeah.
And
the other huge thing to me is with all of these social commitments that I'm able to go to, it means that I'm exposed to a lot more germs. I've caught 2 colds in the last 6 months, which is way more than I used to catch.
But this is not something we're celebrating.
But here's the celebration part. I have gotten over those colds without the need of IV antibiotics. The first cold, I went on 2 oral antibiotics and it helped me get back to my baseline. And the second cold, I just got over a couple weeks ago. No oral antibiotics needed.
Crazy.
So crazy. It's like insane. So crazy. So there are about 1 million little things every single day that add up to just a huge miracle for us.
Yeah.
And we're just grateful.
Yeah. I would say, looking back at the 6 months, I would say about 3 months was when we saw kind of the max. I mean, I don't know, maybe time will tell if there's more improvement, but now it's just kind of like 3 months. It felt like you kind of hit the, okay, this has gotten me to this place.
Like, this is my new baseline.
Yeah, and now it's just kind of this stability. And so time will tell, and
Crazy.
the months ahead what this does. But happy Trikaftaversary, honey.
Happy 6 months, everybody. And as always,
We'll see you tomorrow.
good night.
Don't you think we're
Oh, we can say good night. Mwah.